Let's focus real estate in the startup space then. And PropTech unicorn NoBroker has recently raised $5 million from technology giant Google in their extended Series E round, which follows an earlier securing of $210 million in November 21. This investment has been made from Google's $10 billion India Digitization Fund. Joining in right now to discuss breaking into the competitive real estate market, as well as what the fundraise outlook is and plans for growth, is Akhil Gupta. He's the co-founder and CTPO at NoBroker.com. Akhil, thanks so much for taking time out and joining us on Startup Central. I want to just take the clock back and talk about when you started out in the year 2014. And how difficult really was it to break into a space which is quite competitive and has quite a few marquee names already?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think it was extremely tough, and we didn't know that it is going to be so tough because there were more than a dozen startups who were trying to make their way in the prop tech journey. So, and it took us almost 12 to 15 months of bootstrapping to raise our first round, which was led by Elevation Capital way back in February 2015. We started working on idea in August 13, launched in March 14. So it was a pretty long journey, and that time startup capital was not easily available. Like there were hardly few venture capitalists who were doing investment in India, and we had this habit of following the West. So the solution which was typically for India, which has never been done across the globe, that was not looked up to because people were looking for winning stories which are there in the West and trying to replicate in East. But since then, I think times have changed a lot now.
Yeah. And you also went on to now become the first Indian PropTech unicorn. That was in November 21. You've got very marquee investors on board: General Atlantic, Tiger Global, Moore Strategic Ventures, Google as well. Just walk us through how much the company has managed to raise in funds so far, and are there any further fundraising plans?
Yeah. So till date, we have raised close to $66 million. And primarily, if you see, our Series E was $210 million. And before that, we raised around $120 million in 2019. So for first 6, 7, 8 years, it was 6 years, it was primarily we were finding the product market fit, how exactly we will change the real estate landscape by doing something which has never been done in the past. And to add to it, the most of the funds what we raised in November 21, which is $210 million, we still have it in the bank. So fund wise, we have a lot of capital available. But when Google showed interest in investing in NoBroker, obviously the kind of expertise what they bring in terms of B2C product, consumer facing product, we didn't wanted to say no, and hence we extended the round to take more money from Google.
Yep. So let's talk about that latest fundraise then. $5 million. This, as you said, is on the back of the $210 million that was done in November of 21. So what exactly will Google provide in terms of what the fundraise proceeds will be used towards?
So, as I said, $200 million is still in bank. This will just add to the capital. More than capital, I think this is a big testimony of what NoBroker has been able to achieve in last 8, 9 years. The way we have changed the real estate scene by removing the intermediary, making the transaction extremely cheap for the customers, and the way we have created the products, which has made the discovery of the properties easier, renting out the property easier, and on top of it, we have been able to add-on services like home services where you can take the cleaning, painting, packer and mover services. And we have also made the life easier for people living in the societies with our application named No Brokerhood, which manages the gate for the society, financials of the society, creates a platform for residents of the society to interact. So we have eventually become a one-stop shop for real estate in last 8, 9 years. And with Google, we will leverage their expertise in making some fantastic consumer facing product. We'll sit back on the technologies what they are building. We'll get early access to some of the technologies which are not available in the market, and we already have few amazing products in pipeline which will be coming out in next 3 to 4 quarters, which will be building with help and expertise from the Google.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Akhil, we're looking at an environment where there are global recessionary fears. We've seen higher home loan rates as well, which have made homes a bit more costlier. In an environment like this, what's the plan to become profitable? What's your timeline and how will you achieve that?
So we target to be profitable in next 2 to 3 years. Our unit economics is pretty good. Our revenues are growing. What we have been, and if you want, we can be profitable in any city where we want. But what we are doing is we are investing the capital, what we are making, revenue, what we are making from existing cities to either go deeper in the newer cities or launch new cities. So to let you know, we are just in 6 cities in India at this point of time. But even with 6 cities present in India, we are the single largest real estate app in terms of the DAO, MAO, the people who are using the platform. So we have around 2.5 crore people who have used NoBroker till date. More than 1 crore owner properties are posted. We have saved 11,000 crore rupees worth of brokerage till date. And now we have more than 6 lakh customers who are coming, new customers, and 10 12 lakh old customers who are coming and using the platform. So we have just found the snowballing effect. We think this is just going to get bigger. So we are being cautious of the growth and the revenue at this point of time, with the intention of being profitable in next 2 to 3 years, in coming 2 to 3 years.
So, what was your FY22 number in terms of your bottom line? Because I think for FY21 it was 198 crore rupee loss.
Yes.
And for
So
FY22?
we are, I think we are yet to disclose the numbers, but I can tell you that our revenue typically grows 2 times, and we have cut down on the losses also from the last year. So once the audit is complete and the numbers are out, you'll be able to see those.
And what are your revenue growth run rate? You said 150%?
It's typically so before COVID, we have grown 200 to 300 times. Last year, we would have easily grown more than 100% in terms of revenue.
So the bulk of your revenues come from residential rentals and sales, correct?
This comes from residential rentals from the core real estate, plus the home services what we offer to the customer, the loans, the rent payments, the insurance, all put together.
And what about the commercial business? Now that the pandemic is well behind us, how is that business growing for you?
Pretty good. So we in last 4 months we have seen numbers going up month on month, and with the summers coming up, we'll see the pent up demand because this is the time when people move. So this is the time when schools will be over, people will be changing the job. So historically, in last 8 years, we have seen from April to June is when a lot of movement which happens in terms of the rental houses, and even there is a high demand for services like AC repair and AC servicing. So we are looking for a first full-fledged season after 3 years of COVID. So very, very excited about it.
Okay. So walk us through, as of now, how many properties are registered in total on your platform? How do you plan to grow? How many societies do you plan to reach? And what's your user base on the platform?
So on NoBroker, as I mentioned, we have 2.5 crore people who have used it till date. We have close to more than 1 crore properties which were posted on the platform. Every month we add 6 lakh new customers. Around 10 to 12 lakh old customers are coming and using the platform. We are adding close to 3 lakh properties every month. More than 50 to 60,000 closures happens on the platform every month, on both rentals and buy sell. And on the NoBroker road side, we are in more than 25 lakh flats who are using the NoBroker road app. There we have seen tremendous growth since we raised our last round. We have grown more than 3 times on NoBroker road with an extremely high focus, because that's our way of acquiring customers without we really need to do a lot of digital advertising. So we are gunning for 100,000 societies, which should be 10 times of what we 10 times in terms of number of apartments. We are gunning for more than 25 million apartments who should be using NoBroker Road in next 2 to 3 years.
So currently you're operating in 6 cities, correct? And do you plan to expand that?
So NoBroker Road is right now available in 12 cities in India. NoBroker is available in 6 cities. Obviously, our intent is to go to top 50 cities in India. Our competition which are like classifieds. Primarily, they are in 60 cities. So, but we don't want to open up too big a market immediately. We'll take our own sweet pace with which we'll open up the market. But idea is to be available in top 50 cities in India, and no broker should be ideally in top 30 cities in India.
To start off with, any book or any podcast that you would recommend?
So typically, I read less books, but anything which is connected to reality and which is maybe more of the biography, I love to read those books.
Okay, anything in particular that you've just read?
Recent one was about this almanac of Naval Ravikant, and I think it's a very nice series of tweets which has been collected as a book. Pretty good book.
Do you have a mentor, and who is that?
So I think I'll say my parents. Most of the times, I've just learned to be grounded from them and work harder on whatever we want to do and look around to make life easier for people around you.
One big mistake that you made on the professional front that you learned from?
I see on the hindsight, I'd never regret on anything which has happened. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. But yeah, there are a lot of learnings which we have taken during this journey.
Quick advice to the next generation, young entrepreneurs. What's the advice?
I think one thing which I always say is like India has enough problems to solve, and we as a country we have many challenges. Don't get impatient. Sometimes I've seen people want result to be too quick. Like there is no point chasing unicorn tag that I want to be a unicorn in 2 years or 1 year. That will not succeed. The things which will go faster, which go up faster, also comes down faster. So slow and steady wins the race, and pick the bigger TAM in terms of whatever you are trying to solve.
Okay, any next breakthrough that you will watch out for in the startup world?
I think the way these AI is doing the automation and with the chat GPT and other things which are coming up, I see a lot of opportunities will be there using data, machine learning and AI with which life can be made easier for the consumers. So those are the new trends or the breakthroughs which I'm closely monitoring.